Hi, it's Marina the Soul Alchemist. It's time to pick your own card weekly guidance for the 13th through to the 19th of May. So I'm using the Akashic Oracle card deck, a modality in a box. So if you want any more details around that particular deck, if you haven't got it yet, or maybe you're playing along with me each week, then that's amazing. But if you want more details, then click the link in the description below or reach out to me. So 13th through to the 19th of May. If you've not had a chance to tune in, I want you to tune into cards 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to reveal the messages, themes, and energies that will be supporting you over the next 7 days. And the bonus card is all about karmic challenges. And to be honest, the karmic challenges is something that is coming through with these cards. So usually what we find is that there's a common theme, something that kind of ties all of these cards together. So if you are coming back to card 1, please do listen to cards 2 and 3 and the bonus card, because you're going to get a more complete picture and kind of like progression through the week. So if you pick card 1, this is kind of, again, usually it's the foundational card. Not always. Sometimes we find the foundational card in another position. But for this week, this definitely feels foundational, linked in with the karmic challenges. So it's power play. It's actually the first card of the deck as well. So foundational card of this of the Oracle, Akashic Oracle cards. So power play. So it's really a couple of messages here. It's really understanding where your power is this week, and you may find through particular situations or things that crop up over this next 7 days that your power is at play, that your power is maybe being given away, consciously perhaps, or maybe not consciously. And this is where we get the awareness, which is a fabulous thing, because once we get that awareness of where we're giving our power away, we can reclaim it back. Sometimes we don't want to reclaim it back though, because it might feel a bit scary if we've got to have difficult conversations or we've got to say no to people. But essentially, this is about you being able to allow yourself to have more freedom of choice, maybe space, whatever it might be. This is about you reclaiming your power, not feeling like you're at the mercy of circumstances or people. So circumstances could be your limiting beliefs, your negative narratives, your stories, the things, the excuses that we tell ourselves that keep us in a, keep us stuck. And we're at the mercy of those within ourselves. But it also could be more external, where, we're in habits and behaviors around, kind of patterns of behaviors and habits within certain relationship dynamics, maybe with our boss, maybe with our clients, maybe with our family. So it's really kind of looking at, where am I feeling confined? Where am I feeling like a puppet on a string? And it's kind of like, I've had enough of this. I want to break free. I want to snip through those strings and be able to dance to my own tune. So this might not be a conscious thing that you're thinking of at this point in time. It might be that something that crops up this week, and then you realize, actually, I'm giving my power to this. I'm allowing this to drain my energy or to restrict and confine me, and I want to change that. So the awareness is the first piece, and then it's what you choose to do afterwards that gives you that freedom. It gives you that transformation, gives you the change. It gives you a different result. So where is your power this week, and how can you step out of the confinements that you find yourself in, taking small steps, decisions, and how can you create more freedom, more liberation? So that's your first card. Now, the second card kind of builds on that, and this might point to you in particular, where you might find that the power play will come into play this week. It might not be, but it might be. If you want to go deeper with that particular card, do let me know, because you can have a one-to-one session with me. You can do that on a subscription where you get 4 sessions per year, because I do quarterly readings, and all of them include Akashic healing, or you can just get a one-off session. It's completely up to you. And of course, you can get the deck of cards and play along with me each week. So reach out to me if any of that is talking to you, speaking to you, and we can chat a little bit more about that. So if you pick card 2, go back and listen to card 1 if you've not done that already, because that's going to give you the foundational kind of like information and message that this card now builds upon. So this is where you might possibly find your power play being given away, your power. This is a repeater card now for the 3rd week, and it's unconditional love. So the likelihood is that power play is being given in a relationship of some kind. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It can be a relationship of any kind. And you might find that it's a relationship of old. If it is a romantic relationship, it might be an ex, something like that, that comes back, maybe connects this week. And maybe your old behaviors, the ways that you maybe reacted or responded, behaved in that particular relationship, might just come to the surface. And it's, you know, sometimes when we kind of go, somebody kind of comes up from our past, it's funny how we can revert into being that person that we were way back then. It's really, really kind of quite strange, even though we may have done a lot of growth and evolution with our identity and our personality and all the healing and all this type of stuff. For some of us, there are some people that just have us feel like we're reverting back into that old version of ourselves. And you might find that that is something that comes up. And if you have moved beyond that old version of yourself because, you know, there's aspects of that were out of alignment, you might find that there's the power play and that aspect. There might be still an element of healing that needs to be done there, but you might also find, if you're reverting back to old behaviors, that you give your power away as well. So just really kind of like be mindful of that. But the power play and just noticing maybe where you are saying yes to things that you really mean no, it's likely to be a relationship for that particular first card that this is coming through on. And what I want to say also with that, again, it's the heart light that I'm really drawn to, is just continue to connect back in with your heart, really questioning and asking yourself, does this feel aligned for me? Does this connection, does this relationship, am I getting my needs, desires fulfilled by this connection, by this relationship? Does it feel fair and equal? And if it's not, then that's giving you quite a lot of information. And you can then maybe start to make some more discerned and aligned decisions and choices around that support your energy and support your power. So dropping into the heart space to connect in, trusting your guidance, trusting your wisdom, and kind of blocking out the external noise of other people's opinions, judgments, beliefs, all that type of stuff, so you can kind of hear what it is that you feel that you need that helps with your personal power. So unconditional love, although it's not unconditional love that we are connecting in with this particular message this week, it's more about giving your power away, or those habits and behaviors, and it's connected to others. Somebody that's around you at the moment, or somebody that suddenly shows up out of the blue, and we may revert back to just a couple of those old patterns of behavior that we had moved beyond. And it's just funny how that can happen. And what I would say is, if that is the case, then there's curiosity and there's an invitation there for you to question and ask yourself, why have I done that? You know, why have I reverted back to an old version of myself, which I've moved way beyond? What is the fear, or what is underlying that? Why do I need to have done that? Am I kind of scared that this person's not going to like me in this new version? You know, what has triggered that? Or is it just a behavior pattern that has just happened? So let me know in the comments if this is resonating. I would love to hear. And of course, if you want to go deeper with your own one-to-one session, please reach out. I do a quarterly subscription, so it's really affordable, and you get to work with me 4 times a year. So it's really an incredible way for you to feel supported for a full year and get insight and guidance every quarter, plus Akashic record healing, all supported with you moving forward through the year. Now, this third card makes perfect sense, building on the other two cards. If you've just picked card 3, go listen to card 1 because it's the foundational card. Then you've got card 2 that kind of gives you some insight in terms of where the card 1, where that's likely to show up. And then we've got card 3, and this is kind of, for me, this is the main message. If there's one message we can take from all of these cards, it's this card. This is what ideally we need to be doing, if we can, to give us this first card, to give our power back here. This is what we do here. We release guilt. Guilt about hurting somebody's feelings, guilt about saying no, saying yes to ourselves, forgiving people, forgiving ourselves, releasing guilt about just taking our power back, you know, and wanting more for our life. Releasing guilt about that, knowing that we're enough and that we don't have to do all of this stuff, like go through loops and all of this, in order to have what it is that we want, to have our needs and desires met. It's like releasing guilt about all of that, releasing guilt about having our needs and desires met, you know, and that we don't have to work hard for it, or we have to do this in order to get that. You know, there's a real kind of sacrifice energy within that. So releasing guilt, where can you release guilt this week? And if this is your main focus, then just tune into where you perhaps might be feeling like still hanging on to guilt, or still operating from a place of guilt with some of your choices, behaviors, decisions. And it might not be very obvious, but again, just be aware this week, because there might be just something where you catch yourself and it's like, why am I doing that? And then it's like, it's because if I don't, I feel guilty. I feel that I owe this person, or I owe this situation or circumstance in some way, and I would feel really guilty if I didn't do this. I said yes to this years ago, and so now there's an expectation on for me to continue to fulfill this. But I don't want to have the conversation and say, no, I don't want to do this anymore because I feel guilty, because that person now relies on me. So now I feel duty bound. Now I feel obligated. Is there any of that going on for you? And it might be that there isn't, and that's amazing. So you might find that there's just something where there's an aspect of guilt, or there's a twinge of guilt that comes up, and it's kind of like, just recognize it and release it. I'll let it go. I'll let the guilt go. Wherever it's being held within my physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, throughout my auric field, my whole body system, all conscious levels, I release the guilt. I release the guilt from the Akashic records. And allow yourself to move into the light without baggage, feeling light, not being held by any expectation or obligation or duty. You're releasing guilt. Guilt is, as we know, is a burden, and it's a limiter. It keeps us trapped. You know, that straight away where we're giving power to guilt, sense of guilt, allowing guilt to kind of like override our choices and our decisions and our freedom. That's where we give our power away. So release the guilt. Wherever you can release guilt this week, do it. Absolutely do it. And it can be this transformational step, choice, decision that you make, and you're stepping into the light, which is amazing. So let me know how that card resonates. I would love to hear. And we're now moving on to the karmic challenges. This is your bonus card. And I feel for me, we've got karmic challenges coming from an essence and elements of this card, but I think the karmic challenges is really, really kind of weaving its way through these 3 cards. In particular, this card, the karmic challenges around why am I keeping myself as a puppet and giving my power away or allowing certain people to influence my decision making? Or, you know, is it a pattern or a habit, behavior that I've got myself in, and I'm just giving my power away to that thing? So that in itself can be a karmic challenge, because some of that can be an influence from the past, as in past lives. And that is the karmic challenge for this week. It's past lives. So you may find that some of this power play, some of this dynamic with relationships where the power might be given to, can also be a repeat behavior pattern, karmic pattern from your past, from a previous lifetime. And so you might be finding, as your awareness grows, as we do these cards week on week, and as you're ascending in the ascension process and we're becoming more soulful, self-aware, we absolutely are. You might find that you're starting to recognize some of these repeat patterns, and they're likely to be rooted in the past. So there is an invitation straight away to do some Akashic healing there and to release the root from your past lives, whatever past life that is, and it could be more than one. And as we embrace the karmic challenge, as we start to make different decisions and start to reclaim our power, what we're doing is we are dissolving that karmic challenge just by doing something different and reclaiming our power. Physical action is the fastest way for us to move through our karma. We can do the energy healing and we open the doors of opportunity, but physical action is where we embody and ground it, which is brilliant. So we've got something from past lives coming through, and it could be past lives, it could be past present. So as I said, I did talk about there could be people from the past that come through, and, you know, out of the blue, coming from the past, could be a karmic connection there as well. Karmic connections also, karmic lessons, karmic patterns, are all there for us to learn from as well. They're not bad. It's not kind of like karmic challenge, oh my God, you know. We look at these as growth opportunities, which is what I also love about this card, because we've got all of these doors of opportunity which have keys in them. So as we move through this week, reclaiming our power, diluting or dissolving the karmic challenge, we are now opening the door to move through. And that's what you're also opening this week as you face your karmic challenges in whatever form they are. And that could be conscious, subconsciously. You are also opening up a new pathway and a new doorway, and you're stepping onto a new pathway and new trajectory in your Akashic records. You're opening up literally a new door in your Akashic records. And actually, I've taken my power back. I'm not going to do the same thing that I've always been doing, and it might be connected to the relationships. I've released the guilt. Guess what? I've got a new open door that's opened up in my Akashic records on my timeline. And I'm now able to go through it because I have the key, because I've done what I've needed to do to actually get the key so I can open the door and walk through it. So this is the domino effect of what can happen. So it doesn't become a karmic challenge. The karmic challenge is what we need to work through to get the door of opportunity. And the karmic challenge is about your power this week. It may show up through relationships. And the fastest way to go through that is to release any guilt around you making a different choice. You open up the door of opportunity, you get given the key, you take the key, and you carry on walking forward, taking them steps. So let me know how this reading, these messages are resonating for you this week. Keep tapping in, keep tuning back in with the messages just to kind of sense check through the week. And I will put something appropriate at the end of this YouTube video, meditation, a healing of some kind. I probably have something around guilt or power. I'll see what I've got. I'll place the most appropriate thing there. So you've got something there to actually listen to help with the healing aspect of that. And of course, if you want to get your own deck of cards, modality in a box, then please do click the link below. Or you want your own sessions, you want to work with me one-to-one in a really affordable way, then the Empowerment Oracle card session subscription is the easiest way to do that. Okay, so love and blessings, everybody. Have a fabulous week, and I'll speak to you soon.